work we needed to do to
Yeah.
rebuild the trust, in
Yeah.
essence, with our members and the community that was
Yeah.
interested in us. And I can't go into extraordinary detail because that obviously gives too much information to bad
Sure.
actors. But what I'll tell you is this. Whereas once before we had a security team that was in charge of security, we still have a separate chief information security officer. We have a separate privacy officer now. But it is the responsibility of every single person at Ashley Madison to look at the privacy and the security of everything we do. Every time we develop a new product, a new feature, a new service,
Okay.
it starts with how does this answer the question security and privacy? And there's very separate things because you can be very secure but not necessarily very private.
Sure.
So we look at them from very different angles. And if you know your Greek mythology, I reference it as a Sisyphean task. The job is never done. Every single day, our security team, our privacy team,
Yeah.
and the rest wake up and go, how do we ensure that what we're doing is right? And think about this. And this is the answer to how I know we've done the job and we continue to do the job. In 2015, we had about 33 million members. We are now
Okay.
well over 85. We'll probably
Okay.
reach about 90 million members by the end of this year. And that's more than double the amount of people we had in 2015. If we were not delivering on that expectation, we would not have had the rebirth of this organization. We wouldn't
Yeah.
continue to stand where we are today and be flourishing in a time where so many other brands. So think about this. I'm not sure how familiar with our story back in 2015, but pretty much every single person who talked about it said this was the end of our company. We could never come back
I'm
from what
sure.
happened.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
here I am nearly 10 years later saying we're the number one brand in married dating. No one other brand even comes close to our business model and its scale. And so in knowing that, we don't take it for granted. And we know that we have to continue to do that every day. And so it's a lot of technology, it's a lot of eyeballs, it's a lot of process, but most importantly, it's about prioritization. It is our number one priority every single day. And
Amazing.
in doing
Amazing.
so, I think we built back the trust a little bit. And this is the interesting part about infidelity. There is no one typical affair. You might have a need that is very short term, that might last a weekend or a week or maybe a month. And yet we've also had people who've had affair partners for well over a decade. I've also
That's
had people who have met on Ashley Madison, realized what was really missing in their marriage, and it wasn't just purely physical, and they've ended up marrying their.
marrying each other. Yeah. Okay.
I
Okay.
have one couple who's been married for almost 20 years, and they still talk about how the fact is they met on Ashley Madison. So there's a huge range of types of affairs and reasons for affairs. There's not one singular answer to that question, and that's really what I do is I talk about what's happening behind the scenes. You can make a judgment then, I think, but most people make judgments without really understanding the space.
Subscribe to Midday India. Get direct notifications on all our videos by clicking on the bell icon.